Hey guys, it's Sarah and I'm going to get started on my Project Life spread for today. I know, right? Haven't seen this for a while. I still do this project. I haven't given up on it and I just really need to play some catch up. So I'm going to use this month to finish my 2016 album. So I have to do October, November, December. So I should have 3 Project Life spreads up this month, and they're going to be monthly spreads. I do this monthly now instead of weekly, so that helps me a lot to catch up. And yeah, so I have my page protectors here. I just took them out of my album. I actually have 2016 planned out already with post-its notes. I did that while I binge watched the Allie Edwards story. I think it's Storytelling with Project Life. It's a self-paced class now, so I will leave the link down below if you guys are interested, but she goes through Project Life and her process and how she is behind still, and you know, kind of tips that you can use to catch up on it quickly. And you know, she does process videos in it. It's a really, really great class, and I've actually watched through those videos multiple times. So I took one day and I watched through some of the videos, and as I was watching her, I was writing down my stuff and collecting my things and, you know, all that. So I do have a little bit more than I normally would for October. It was a busy month in 2016. So I have this whole side, this whole side, this whole side, and this whole side. So it's going to be a whole thing. So this is probably going to be a little bit of a longer video. But I really, you know, want to get this one done. So because it's going to take me a little bit longer, I'm probably going to make it a little bit more simple as well. I may not add a whole lot as far as embellishing and things, but I'm going to, you know, it'll be pretty still. I got to have it pretty, right? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Today is, when I'm filming this, it's Saturday, so my kids are here and they're, if you can hear them in the background, they're listening to music and playing. And I am enjoying a delicious Blue Moon apricot beer. And I'm going to bust this out, so I hope you enjoy it.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and get started. The first thing that I always do is I go through my pictures and I put my pictures on the slots where they're going to be going into. So I'm going through and, you know, looking at my post-its and what pictures are supposed to be there. So I'm going to go ahead and set those on top so I kind of know what I'm looking for. Now I know that I am going to need 1 4x6 card or 2 4x6 cards, 1 for the title and 1 for a picture, and then I'm going to need 2 3x4 cards as well. So I kind of know what I'm going to be looking for. I pulled out this little transparent October, which is something I'm using throughout this entire album. Every month I'm using one of those, and I think that is from Freckled Fawn. And I just decided when I started my 2016 album I was going to use those every month, so I pulled out my October one. I also have those white letter stickers. Those are foam. Those are also from Freckled Fawn. I'm going to use those for the title card. And I'm pulling out a couple of things here. Now I decided to go with some pink for my color theme, kind of pink and a little bit of gray here. And the reason I am using pink is because there's pink in quite a few of these pictures. There's some in the blanket on the bottom picture, there's some in the t-shirts on the bottom picture on the other side, the picture of myself and Brody, there's a little bit of pink in there, so I just kind of, I'm pulling that color out. That's what really stood out to me. Now for the title card, I pulled out this 4x6 card, and I am going to use this for my title. And I found this little deer, this little transparent deer, which is super cute. And it has nothing to do with the layout at all. It just reminds me of fall. So I figured I would just go ahead and use her. And she's got cute little pink cheeks as well, as if you can tell. So that was super cute. So I put her on the title card there around the circle. It kind of helped her stand out a little bit more. And I'm using the Freckled Fawn foam letters here. I actually had enough to spell out the word October, which was kind of surprising. So that worked out nicely. So I'm going to spell out October, and then I'm going to add this little sticker here that says Daily Life, and I'm just going to stick that up top there. And then I'm going to add a couple of enamel dots because I'm going to use up this package right here. I only have a little row of some little dots here. They're not enamel, actually. I don't remember exactly. They're hard, not enamel. They're a different texture, but same type of thing. But I'm going to use up that package here, which is nice. And then I pulled out this card here that has, it's just like a black and white, and I'm going to use that to offset the pink as well so that it's not all completely pink. But this is a picture of me and Brody, and we are snuggling on the floor. And it's funny because after I did this layout, I realized I had already put that picture in Project Life in the previous month, but that's okay. It's a good picture. It's one of my favorites. So I wrote Snuggles up there with some Maggie Holmes little letter stickers that are kind of a purpley pink. And then I am going to add a couple little hearts here. And I'm going to end up coming back to these hearts throughout the layout as well. So I'm going to keep those handy. But I'm going to do my journaling, and that's the thing too, like on the previous picture when I put that in before, I didn't have any journaling. It was just the picture. So this is the actual journaling of, you know, me and Brody laying on the floor snuggling, and, you know, he kind of snuggled up in my shoulder, and we laid there for like that for a while. So it was nice. That's one of my favorite pictures of him. Okay, so that is done. And then I watched Stranger Things that month. And I don't remember if that was the first season or second season. I think that was the first season. I'm pretty positive. Yeah, it must have been. I was not feeling good one day. Just like, you know, really feeling under the weather, and it was a school day, so the girls were in school, and I laid on my couch all day and just watched Stranger Things. I think I watched almost the entire season in one day. It was kind of perfect. I literally just laid on my couch and watched that, and it was fantastic. I love that show. All right, so for this card here, this is going to be a journaling card. Oh, there's my husband. He made one of those Metal Earth things from Star Wars, and he had just finished it, so he was showing it to me. It was really cool. This journaling card is actually about my husband, and it's about moving on to a different type of job that he was working. So he was a commander of a certain group of people at one point, and then you know, that's only like a year-long job, and his year was up, so it was time for him to move on to do something else. So I'm doing a little journal card, and I used some basic gray letter stickers that says moving on, and I'm going to use this wood veneer arrow as well, and I'm going to stick that down. And then I'll do my journaling about, you know, him kind of moving on to the next phase in his career, and, you know, he was excited about what was next and all that. With my husband being, you know, he's in the Air Force, and being an officer, he definitely tends to, you know, they move around jobs a whole lot. So it's a lot of shifting and a lot of, you know, moving up and moving on and all that. So he was kind of moving up to his next job description, which was good. Okay, this dog here is not ours. Her name is Shelby, and she is the cutest little bulldog. She belongs to some friends of ours, and I want a bulldog so bad. That's, you know, kind of a dog I've always wanted. And the girls too, they absolutely loved her. But our friends asked if we could dog sit her one day, and I was like, absolutely, she can come stay with us as long as she needs. And she stayed with us for a weekend, and it was wonderful, and she was so funny and such a joy. And she ended up, you know, we kind of became her dog sitters, and we were always happy to do it because we loved her so much. So this was the first time that she came over, and so I put Shelby on there in some letter stickers, and then I started writing directly on the card, but it was getting a little bit lost with that pattern. So I'm cutting down a little piece of white cardstock, and I'll do my journaling on the cardstock instead, and it shows up a lot better. But yeah, Shelby is, she's really funny. Luckily, she got along with our dogs good, and yeah, she was just a joy to have over at our house. We really enjoyed having her. Okay, and I'm going to add a couple more of those dots there. Now, for the bottom two, they are both 4x6 pictures. This one is of a table of t-shirts, and I had volunteered to roll t-shirts for a event that was happening at our church that I ended up going to, which I will be scrapping next, actually. But they were selling t-shirts at the event, and they just needed some help, you know, getting the t-shirts ready. And so I was rolling them and tying them with twine and putting the sizes on them and stuff. So I went up there one day and helped get all that done. So I put some washi tape down, and then I put down this little piece of cardstock, and I'll do my journaling right on there. And I'll use that washi tape along in further on in the spread as well. So anything I'm using that I can kind of use over and over, I'm keeping handy on my desk so that I can just kind of pull from them. So it makes everything seem a little bit cohesive. And this picture is just of the girls and Shelby sitting on the couch. She was snuggling with them while they were watching a movie and eating popcorn. Okay, so that one is done. Now I'm going to move on to this next one. And this next one is all about this event that happened at our church. And it was called Women of Destiny. And it was a women's conference that was being put on for an entire weekend. And my best friend and I went. And it was amazing. It really, really was. They had some great guest speakers and events. And, you know, they had a little boutique where the t-shirts and some other stuff were sold. And it was really powerful. It was a very powerful weekend, and I got a lot out of it. So for this one, I am going to be, it's all going to be this conference because it was a really big deal. And so I pulled a couple cards there, one that has little tassels on it, which I think is really cute, and then one that's just for journaling, which I will do majority of my journaling on that. And then I have all my pictures and some other stuff. So for my title, I'm going to use these pink foam thickers. I think these are from Dear Lizzie. I don't have the name of them on anymore. I don't know what happened to the title of them, so I'm not quite sure what happened. Sorry, my camera just moved. My girls were hanging. They came in to say hi. So I'm going to use these to spell out Women of Destiny, and then use up a couple more of those dots there. And that's going to be the title here. So that will go in there. And then I will do, majority of my journaling on this card here. And I'm rounding all the corners. I'm going to bring in this washi tape again. So I'm going to use that. And then I will add a heart, a couple of these little hearts here that I used on the other spread there. And then I'll do my journaling and, just talking about the weekend as a whole and what I really got out of it. It was a very special weekend for me. So something I really needed at the time. And I have this card here is from She Reads Truth. And that is like an online community. And I bought something from them. And so they sent like a bunch of little kind of cards. And so I picked one that went really nicely with the layout and put that on there. And then I have a picture of me at the event in front of a wall of balloons. And then that one was actually taken at the event, and I stole it from their Facebook page, but it's, someone's hand in the air during the worship music time. And then that one that I just cut, or the 4x6 that I just put down there, is one that I took of one of the speakers there. Now this one is a little handout that we got. It's called, and it says the Journey Room, and that was a big part of the weekend for me. There was a room that we could go, and it was kind of, the intention was to have kind of some one-on-one time with the Holy Spirit, and that is what I really got the most out of that weekend. So I'm gonna journal about that on the bottom there, but I cut out the words Journey Room so that I could do that. This right here is a little bag from Chili's. So not from the event, but I don't know if Chili's still has these anymore. I don't think they do. Last time we went, I don't think they had them, but they used to put their silverware in these, and it says we were put here to serve. And when I read that, I immediately thought of Jesus and not of Chili's. So it was just, I kept it because of that. I was like, oh my gosh, I should keep this and use it for something, and I'm going to use it here. So it was just kind of funny. All right, so I used up the rest of those dots, so I put that there. Since that little bag was really long and I couldn't stick it in, I cut it in 2 pieces, so it's going to go along, but it's going to line up, so it will still look like a whole piece, even though it's, cut down a little bit. So I'm doing my journaling here about the Journey Room, and then I will put that card in there, and it will look like, pretty cohesive, so you can kind of read it like that. And then on the other side of this pamphlet, there was the theme for the conference, which was We Can't Stay Here. And that was kind of the theme for it. So I wanted to make sure I included that on here, so I'm going to stick this along the bottom of my picture. And then that's going to complete that. So moving on to the other side, we are now getting into the Victoria Marie Scrapbook Retreat, which is the first year that I went. And also my parents came in town that weekend too. They came in town, you know, not only they really did want to visit, but it was a good weekend to come because I was going to be out of town for a little bit of it. They ended up staying for a week and a half, so I got to spend some good time with them as well. But for 4 of those days, I was gone at the Victoria Marie Scrapbook Retreat, so they were there to also help out with the girls a little bit and, you know, school and all that. So it was really nice. But so those are going to be the 2 main things that I'm going to be scrapping on this side here. I'm going to have a title card up here and then a couple of pictures that, you know, Josh and my parents and the girls went to Roswell one day and went to the Alien Museum and did a whole day in Roswell. I was at the retreat at that time, so I didn't end up going with them, but that's okay. And so I have 2 4x6s down here. That is the cottage that we stayed at, the retreat place, and then a big group picture of all of us, which is really fun. And then I have a little 3x4 that says Victoria Marie Retreat, which is a little Scrabble tiles that someone made in a restaurant when we went out for lunch one day, and then a picture of my husband and my mom and my 2 girls while they were in Roswell eating at a restaurant as well. So all right, on here I'm going to use these Pink Fresh Studio stickers and spell out the word fall, so fall memories, and I'm kind of doing a very general journaling, you know, like my parents came to visit and I went to a retreat, and that's kind of what this whole spread here is about. And then I am going to journal on this here, and I'm bringing out my planner from 2016 and I'm checking the dates because I can't remember exactly what the date was that I left to go to the retreat, but I pulled out my planner, and I always keep my planners, and that's why. So it came in handy. So I put the date, and then I'm using these Teresa Collins tiny letter stickers to spell out Victoria Marie. And then I'm going to do my journaling on this card here about the retreat and just how lucky I was to be able to go. And I'm not going to be able to go this year, and I'm heartbroken about it, but I'm taking another trip with my girlfriends here soon, and the Victoria Marie retreat is now way farther away. It's about twice the distance from what I was before when we lived in New Mexico, so it's just not going to be feasible for me to go this year, unfortunately. But yeah, so much fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I really feel like I've made some lifelong friends there, and yep, good times. Okay, so now I'm putting my pictures in. So I have them all put down, and I'm cutting out this little bag here. Now this is something I saved. I just stuck it into my page protector for the month, and it's a little sticker from something that they bought, and it, you know, it says International UFO Museum and something else. Just the Alien Museum that they went to is what everyone calls it, the Alien Museum. And so I'm just cutting out the sticker, and I'm going to stick it directly in the center of this card here. And that is all that's going to be. So it'll be kind of like, you know, here's where we were. And then this here, I'm going to write down the name of the retreat venue here. I'm cutting a little banner, and I'm going to just stick it down, and then I'm going to write down the name of the retreat venue and the city that we were at. And then I have this large group picture of us, and I really like that. So nice and simple, and it's done. And now on to the last week, or the last spread, sorry. This is going to be a lot of Halloween. So Halloween pictures and just a lot of stuff. So we are going to get into that. Now I had that large pumpkin. I'm deciding not to include that. I'm just going to keep the picture up top there. That is something we got in the mail from Josh's sister and her kids, and it was super cute, so I kept that. And I'm going to do some journaling about Halloween. This right there is a handwritten note that I got from somebody, like a little thank you for doing something, and it was really sweet. And luckily it fit in that 3x4, so I cut that down. And on the bottom there, we played Bunko one night for our spouse group, and it was a Halloween theme, so I dressed up as a Netflix marathon. That was my costume, and I actually won for most creative, so it's pretty exciting. So I'm putting down my Bunko sheet, like my scorecard from that night, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it down here. I'm just putting it on a piece of cardstock, like a 4x6 piece of cardstock card here. I'm going to be covering most of it anyway, so I don't need anything fancy. So I'm just going to stick that down there, and that's going to be it. No journaling or anything. And then I'm cutting down the girls' pictures. They were all Star Wars this year. Kaylin was Rey and Layla was Kylo Ren. So it was funny because when we asked them what they wanted to be, they both wanted to be Star Wars characters because we had just, seen the movie, and they were like, yeah. I said, okay, who do you want to be? And Kaylin was like, I want to be Rey. And I looked at Layla and she goes, I want to be Kylo Ren. I was like, okay. So we totally let her be Kylo Ren, and she looked like a little mini Kylo Ren. It freaked us out at first. Like, I could not get over it. The way she was walking around the house, she literally looked like a teeny tiny Kylo Ren. So it was so funny, and she rocked that costume. It was awesome. So I am doing journaling here. Now this journaling is going to go with a picture that's going to go on the bottom. I still have to print it, so I'm going to have to get up during this and go print it because I could not believe I didn't have the picture. I'm looking for it and I'm like, where is it? But they did literary pumpkins at school. So she wanted to paint, like decorate a pumpkin for the literary pumpkins. And she did Harry Potter and Hedwig, and they were fantastic. So I did journaling about that and just about how happy I am she's fallen in love with Harry Potter the same way I have. And then this here, I used some Studio Calico stickers for This Is Halloween, and I'm talking about the girls' costumes and, just, celebrating Halloween that year and everything. And then I'm going to add a little ticket there that has a skeleton on it, and I'll put that on this card, and then I'm going to have to go print that picture of the literary pumpkins, which you'll see here in just a second. And then that's going to be my spread. So I am going to do a tiny little flip through here, not live, it'll be fast, but here's the pumpkins. So Kaylin did those herself, a little Harry Potter and a Hedwig, and they were just so cute. And yeah, so this is all done. All right, I'm going to be back again soon with some more Project Life for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.